Hello, Martin Sim Racing fans. Can you feel the tension building for this weekend's World Series Round 2, Season 2 at the High Speed Ring? And I'll be in the Ford Mustang Group 4 race car. And I cannot wait to get started. I have been practicing tonight, which is Thursday night. I haven't practiced probably in about 2 days, but starting to gear up for the weekend. I did a practice lap, got my time down into 1/16 easily. Then I did a race in the open lobbies, mostly against A-plus drivers. There's only like 7 of us in there. I'm going to show you some highlights from that race, and my time actually got even better during the race. So we are getting faster. I don't know if I've kind of pushed it to the limits and just to get more consistent, but I feel a wind coming on. I'm not guaranteeing nothing, okay, but I do feel a wind coming on. So let's get right into it. And first we're going to look at the fastest lap I had, just me running around the track practicing. All right, here we go. This is my fastest lap. I think it was like a 16.5, so we're definitely getting better. And in the race, I actually had a lap almost in the 15s, guys. So that's really good. But this is just my free practice laps. Just trying to get faster, get better, working on the stuff that was in the comments, mostly from Gritty. I really appreciate his help. He's been so helpful, and his advice always seems to work. So, but I would like to hear from some other people. I know there's some other people out there watching the videos. We're not getting many views, but we're getting enough that somebody's got something to say. They're just not saying it. So if you want to give some advice or be critical, please do. But I really don't like how we go around that turn and we're using the Astro to sling us around and go faster. It's very, arcadey, but it is what it is. It's in the game. It's a great game. The game has great racing. It's one of the best racing games, period, out there. I don't care what nobody says. There are some games that are more toward the simulator spectrum, but even those games have weird stuff in them. Like iRacing had a 24-hour race where people were running half in the grass to keep their tires cool, and it was real fake, and people were up in arms about it. So everything's got its issues, and this game's definitely got some, but overall the racing is good, and they are improving the game little by little, and we have a good product here. But you see the lap here. Now we're about to get into the highlights from the race, and I think I'm getting better. I think racing against these faster drivers is helping me. But you can see right here, the top 4 guys are A-plus drivers. Then we have an A driver in front of them, behind them, and then me and like a C guy. So, and that C guy is really fast, honestly. But we're able to hang in here pretty good, better than you might would think. And you can see the new livery I have. It's got my logo on the side. My 1998 looking YouTube logo. But it is what it is. Best I could do with the time I got. So I wanted to do something to kind of represent. Maybe some people see it and tune in. But we're behind Old Man Racing here. But he's an A driver. In front of him is Kevin, who's an A-plus driver. I've definitely seen him on videos before. Probably Gritty's videos and some races. And Quackabilly, I know I've seen that name before. And some of these guys, I don't think it's my internet, but some of these guys' internet must be spazzing out, because the cars will just pop out of nowhere and be right on you. And it's never been that way in these World Series races or even the daily races I've done, but it does seem to be that way in some of these open lobbies. I know they have some issues with that, but it's good to get together and practice with these guys. Even only 7 guys in this race, but you can see it's pretty tight, and we're hanging in there with the pack. I mean, they're not just running off and leaving us here at the beginning of the race. And for the first few laps, I was actually in this thing pretty good, and I get really close to some A-plus drivers, but the consistency is not quite where it needs to be, which I knew that going into this thing, and the time is not quite where it needs to be. But the time on my best lap is actually, if I could hit that consistently, I'd have been right there with them, I think. I'd have been really close, put it that way. Maybe not winning or anything, but to being competing with A-plus drivers. I'm still a B, So, that you can, if you'll watch, the second lap is pretty good, but the third lap is by far my fastest lap that I've ever done around this track with the GT4 car, or the Mustang. And that's the other thing too. One of these other guys is using the Mustang, but they're in different cars. Those cars on this track, they may just be faster, in the straights. I don't know. Mustang is not bad. This GT4 car is the only option that I have from Ford. I have some options on GT3, but not on GT4 cars or Group 4 cars. But under a 32 on that first sector is pretty good for me, and you can see those guys are getting tangled up a little bit, and it allows me to get closer. So I'm really hanging in there. Like I said, there's a little separation starting to happen at this point on lap 2, but I'm still, you know, if anything happens, I'm within striking distance. And you know, this guy, like that's what I'm saying, he just boom, he's popping right back to me. I don't know what happened, why that happened. It's got to do with connections. Hopefully that won't be that way in the World Series race, but I try to, you know, use this to my advantage. And coming out of here, I try to get right up on him and slipstream him to pick up some speed and try to catch up with other group. Now probably what I should have done is bump drafted so that we both could just kind of catch back up with the group, and that's just inexperience. And now looking back and thinking, and after watching other people, that would have been the right thing to do, I think. Let me know in the comments again, because you know, I don't know these things. I'm not a smart racer yet, but I will be. And you can see, for whatever reason, he's way back there now. I don't know what's going on with that, but we are making up some ground here on some of these A+ drivers, which is awesome. I mean, the fact that they're not just way out in front of me. I mean, you got to remember, maybe like what, 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was a D driver, smoked it on through the C's, but I had to go back down to a D even after being promoted, and now I'm in the B's. I'm in the bottom of the B's, but I mean, I'm way better than I was, and this right here is just proof of it. And we're just, you know, learning how to get better. That's part of the process, learning what lines to take. And I'm not taking the right lines every time, but it's a lot better than it was, you know. And that's the thing, is just get better a little bit at a time, and eventually we'll be there. So my second lap was a 16.7. You know, other day I was like, guys, help me get into the 16s. You know, I'm so good, 17.2. Well, now it's 16.7. This is my third lap. Watch what we come across right here as. Boom, 16.1, son. Hey, 16.1, are you kidding me? That's almost in the 15s. And my car ain't that much lighter right now. You can look at the fuel, you know. And I mean, a 16.1. I mean, I'm a tenth and a half from being a 15-something guy. If I'm a 15-something guy, there ain't nobody in the B's gonna want none. I can tell you that. I don't think so. Not many people anyway. I'll be right there with the best of them. So, you know, just this strategy basically is just to continue to do the same track over and over again for that week. You know, instead of racing every day in a daily race, I think the better thing for me is just to do the tournament races and just practice, then do the tournament race, practice, tournament race, and just chip away at it little by little and get better, because I just don't have the time to consistently be good. But you can see a wipeout right there by that guy. So that allows me to overtake him and get in 5th place and make up some ground on Kevin. And I know he's an A+ driver. I've seen him in some of Gritty's videos, and maybe even some other videos too. Some other A+ drivers have YouTube channels. So we're going to get right up close here, pretty daggone close to him. We're trying to draft him and overtake him. This is something too. This incident right here, this whole issue, this whole section of the race, you can see how close we are, and I want to know in the comments, what should I have done to win this battle, to have overtaken him? Because now I'm in a position I got to drop back to do this little hook on the Astro thing, and I've run through him when he ghosted, which I don't understand what happened there. Did he stop too soon, or did I just not stop soon enough? Because I was kind of not sure how to handle that. So I want to go back and show you this whole little thing that happened from a different perspective, from behind the car, so you can see how close we were, and maybe give me some advice on how to handle that if I get, because that section of the track coming out of this straightaway, I might be in that situation this weekend, and I need to know how to handle it better. So you can see I come right up on him to slipstream him, then I go around. Maybe I should have waited a little longer. Maybe I should have just stuck right to his bumper a little longer and then went high. And if I went high and would have got the pass, then I'd have been positioned on the next turn. I'm not sure, but I think the way I handled it is definitely wrong. He's definitely a more skilled driver, a better driver, but I think I could have done better. So, he's got that shaky car thing going, the internet connection or something. But I need to know, and I also need to clean up this whole little section, this right curve and then the left curve. I think there's half a second to gain right there. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think so. I need to clean that up. Let's work on that. Get some comments on that. We pick it back up right here. Still on lap 5. Still only 7/10 behind Kevin, who is that A+ driver. And there's not like a ton of A+ drivers in America. I mean, there's some, but it's not like the B drivers where they're everywhere. So this is, you know, 5 laps in, and I'm still competing with an A+ driver. And for me at this point in my, you know, journey or career, however you want to look at it, I mean, you know, I feel pretty good about it. I mean, that was a 17.7. It was a bad lap because some of the battling we had going there. It just shows you how much that slows you down. But before that, I mean, I was 16.7, 16.1, 16.7. You know, and it just shows you what a little bit of practice will do. And like I said, I hadn't practiced in the last 2 days. You know, today I just got on here and practiced a good bit, maybe for about, you know, an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours total. And you know, Friday, I'm probably not going to practice a lot. I'll probably just maybe give it a little warm up Saturday and do the race. And maybe you know, hopefully I can get on a little earlier than I did last week and do more races. But you can see, I mean, I'm 1.7 seconds behind Kevin on lap 6. So I mean, you know, we're doing a lot better. I really didn't think that I was good enough to stay this close to an A+ driver in any race right now. But hey, did I mention he was an A+ driver? I'm just kidding. But look, you know, this just shows that we can do it. I mean, we gonna get to the A's. I like, it's gonna be tough to get to where we can compete with these guys. But you know, at this point, I mean, I don't see any reason why we can't. We may not be able to do it on daily races, you know, day in and day out. But when we can practice, and I like referring to myself as we. That's kind of weird. But when I can practice, and I can, you know, continue to do the same track and just get better at that track and focus on that race on a race by race basis, I think, you know, it's possible that I can. Now the other thing that I need some help from in the comments is, what is my strategy? When am I going to pit? Because right now, you know, I'm kind of kicking it around. Even if I'm in pole position, how do I handle it? If I'm in 5th position, how do I handle it? What am I going to do in different situations? Obviously, we're going with hard tires, and you know, there's no fuel, no changing the tires in the pit. But do I pit after lap 1 and then just roll the rest of the race, or do I go 13 laps, then pit at the end of 13 and run the last lap? Now that's what I did in this race. In this race I pitted, I think, after lap 10 or after lap 9. Because my thing was, I was like in 5th place and I had a big lead on the 6 and 7 guys. So I thought, well, if I pit now, maybe, you know, something will happen, I'll catch up, then they'll have to pit, and then I'll gain another position or 2. As you can see right here, is the end of lap 9. I'm going to pit, and you can watch how long the pit stop is. It's not like last week where we got to watch a movie or something, you know, and then they did the pit stop, and then when the movie was over, I got to go back to racing. But it is, you know, it's I think it ends up being, we'll see right here, there's 14, 15, 16 seconds, 17. You're about 18 seconds from the time you go in to the time you actually kind of come out of the pits. On the lap itself, I mean, you're putting up a 126 instead of a 117 basically, so that's 9 seconds. And then you're going to also put up, we'll see, you know, I didn't actually show y'all that lap, I'm skipping ahead to the end here, but you're going to put up, you know, another lap that's a little like a 120 something, so you're going to lose 20 something seconds. So, you know, that's something I got to figure out depending on what position I end up in after qualifying. Let's plan on pole position, 2nd or 3rd, all right? Because I feel like with my DR and my times I'm putting up, I got a really good chance of getting pole position again. But if it ain't pole position, it should be 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. I don't think I'm going to be at the back. I just do not anticipate that happening. But just, y'all can let me know in the comments what needs to be the strategy. How do I need to play this? Because that's going to be important. That really kicked my tail last week. With better strategy, I'd have had a win. I'd be 1-0. You know, but 2nd place ain't bad. But I want to win. I want that gold medal put around my neck at the end of this week. You can see right there at the end of the race, I'm 18.9 seconds behind the winner, which was an A+ driver. I'm 17.9 seconds behind Quack Billy. I mean, that's not bad. It's not awful. It's not great, but you know, it's okay. You know. So we got the clean race bonus when you raise our position 1. Guys, I enjoyed making the video. Let me know. You know, we're building the drama. We're getting ready for this weekend. We can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Hopefully going to get the win. Definitely going to make a video, get it out for you guys. I know you can't wait. All, you know, 15 of you that are going to watch it. But anyway, if you have watched this video, if you're the 16th person, whatever, that's not my mother or my family, then please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so it'll motivate me to keep making more videos. And I need your help. This video is all about getting your help in those comments. Get in there and let me know what you think. You guys have a good rest of your week. And if you live in a small town in the South, enjoy your high school football tomorrow night. And we'll talk to you later.